Machiavelli once said, "Men are driven by two things, love or fear. The wise man chooses the one he can control." Now imagine applying that to modern relationships. Would you still believe love is pure, or would you finally see the power games hidden beneath the smiles? Because behind every attraction, there's negotiation. Behind every good morning text, there's strategy. And behind every heartbreak, there's someone who understood the rules better than you. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding why the manipulative ones always win. The ones who remain emotionally detached, who read patterns, who reward and withdraw like kings in command. So tonight, we decode Machiavelli's 10 dark truths about power and desire. But before you judge him, or yourself, ask this: are you in control of your emotions? Or are your emotions in control of you? Let's be honest, modern relationships aren't a love story, they're a power story. You've seen it. The one who cares less controls more. The one who walks away first wins the argument. And the one who knows when to stay silent usually owns the room. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago, long before Tinder. He just called it strategy. We call it dating in 2025. So, if you've ever texted too fast, cared too much, or felt like someone was playing chess while you were playing checkers, this one is for you. Truth number 1: control emotion, control everything. Machiavelli's first dark truth is simple. The one who controls their emotions controls the relationship. He wrote, "He who cannot control himself will be controlled by others." Sounds like he was talking about kings, but he might as well have been describing a situationship. Think about it. How many times have you sent a paragraph text you later regretted? Or stalked someone's stories to accidentally remind them you exist? That's not love. That's emotional warfare, and you're losing. But here's the Stoic twist. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In other words, your calm is your crown. You don't win by reacting faster. You win by reacting less. So tell me, would you rather win the argument or win your peace? Truth number 2: reward and withdraw. Power grows in the space between giving and taking. Machiavelli believed generosity is a weapon when used sparingly. If you give too much, you create dependence. But if you withdraw strategically, you create value. Now, before someone clips this and says, "Echo Stoic says ghost women," relax. We're not talking about manipulation, we're talking about balance. Think of it like social media algorithms. If a post appears too often, you scroll past it. But when it disappears and reappears, boom, you pay attention. That's how attention works in relationships, too. It's not about games, it's about rhythm. Give warmth, then give silence. Show care, then show composure. Even Marcus Aurelius took days of silence to reflect before reacting. Imagine if more people treated their emotions like luxury, not something you hand out in bulk. But here's where it gets darker. Machiavelli didn't believe love was built on kindness at all. Truth number 3: love is never equal. Every relationship has a dominant and a dependent. That's the part nobody likes to admit. Machiavelli observed that power is never balanced, it only shifts. One person always wants more. More affection, more answers, more reassurance. And the moment you want more, you've surrendered control. It's not cynical, it's just math. If one person chases, the other chooses. If one person explains, the other decides. But here's the Stoic perspective. This imbalance isn't something to fix, it's something to see clearly. Seneca said, "He who is wise is sufficient unto himself." That's the ultimate reversal. The moment you stop needing control, you become the one who has it. So when someone pulls away, don't chase. Observe. The one who can stay still in emotional chaos always ends up leading the dance. And yet, Machiavelli believed there was something even more dangerous than losing power: being predictable. Truth number 4: predictability is death. Predictability kills attraction faster than betrayal. He wrote that a prince must learn to be both the fox and the lion. In today's terms, be unpredictable enough to stay interesting, but steady enough to be trusted. That's the tension that keeps power alive. Now look at dating today. People post their every thought online, overshare on first dates, and then wonder why mystery dies by week 2. You can't intrigue someone when they can predict your next move. If every argument ends with, "I'm sorry, I'll do better," congratulations, you've just become emotional wallpaper. The Stoics would roll their eyes at that kind of self-erasure. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish." Translation: don't explain yourself too much. Let people wonder. Because when you're unpredictable, you're ungovernable. But this next truth is the one that breaks hearts and builds empires. Truth number 5: never confuse love with loyalty. People don't stay because they love you. They stay because it's beneficial to them. Machiavelli saw this in politics, but it's the same in romance. He wrote, "Men are less hesitant to offend one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared." Why? Because love fades when circumstances change, but loyalty follows advantage. Now that sounds harsh, but Stoicism doesn't flinch from harsh truths. Seneca once told a friend, "A wise man loses nothing if he loses what was never his to control." If someone leaves, they were never yours. Only their benefit was. If they stay, it's because something in you commands respect, peace, confidence, self-possession, not the emotional bribes we call affection. Think of relationships like business partnerships. You can't beg someone to invest in a company that doesn't believe in itself. So stop marketing your worth, become it. But here's the twist Machiavelli never said out loud. What happens when you fall for your own strategy? When the player gets attached? When the philosopher becomes the fool? That's where the next 5 truths come in, and they'll show you how to stay powerful, even when you care. Truth number 6: kindness without boundaries is weakness. Machiavelli warned that excessive mercy destroys authority. In his words, "He who is merciful to the cruel becomes cruel to the innocent." Now apply that to love. If you keep forgiving someone who keeps wounding you, you're not being compassionate. You're teaching them how to hurt you for free. It's not that kindness is bad. It's that kindness without boundaries turns into self-betrayal. The Stoics would call that emotional slavery. Seneca said, "He who spends himself for all has nothing left for himself." Your peace is not a public charity. Give from strength, not exhaustion. Here's the funny part. The moment you stop overgiving, people start calling you distant. That's because your new boundaries remove their old privileges. And that's the moment you know you're no longer controlled by their need for your approval. But there's a darker truth behind this one: the fact that power often hides in silence. Truth number 7: the silent one controls the frame. Machiavelli said a ruler must learn to listen more than he speaks, so that others reveal themselves first. In modern life, silence is magnetic. The one who fills every pause with nervous words loses the frame. The one who holds the pause commands it. Watch what happens during conflict. One person speaks fast, desperate to fix. The other stays calm, minimal, measured. Who looks stronger? Who makes the other chase for closure? Silence is not avoidance. It's strategy. The Stoics practiced this daily. When anger rose, Marcus Aurelius would simply breathe, observe, and say nothing. The silence gave him distance, and distance gave him control. Try this experiment. The next time someone pressures you for an immediate answer, say, "Let me think." Then stop talking. You'll feel the power shift instantly. But here's the twist: power is addictive. And Machiavelli's next truth warns what happens when you fall in love with your own control. Truth number 8. Never worship the image you build. Machiavelli believed appearances matter more than reality. Men judge by the eye more than by the hand, he wrote. But the Stoics would add a painful correction. When you start believing your own image, you lose your soul. We see it everywhere. People perform calmness instead of cultivating it. They post quotes about detachment while secretly begging for attention. They confuse the appearance of power with actual inner stability. But as Epictetus said, it is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. The true master doesn't fake composure. He builds it through discipline. So yes, project strength, but don't fall in love with your reflection. When your identity depends on how others see you, you've simply traded one form of dependence for another. And this leads to the 9th truth, the one that separates the philosopher from the manipulator. Truth number 9. Control is an illusion. Influence is earned. Machiavelli's prince tried to control everything: soldiers, citizens, even fate. But every Stoic would laugh at that. They knew that control over others is fragile, while control over self is unbreakable. The Stoic path says influence is not seized, it radiates. People follow peace because peace feels rare. You can't fake serenity. It leaks through your tone, your timing, your eyes. The calm person automatically becomes the authority in a storm. Think about your own life. When everyone panics, who do you listen to? The loud one or the calm one? Control demands fear. Influence invites trust. Machiavelli taught the tactics. The Stoics taught the grace. Combine them, and you have power without cruelty. But there's one final truth, the one Machiavelli hinted at, but never mastered. The paradox that every Stoic eventually learns the hard way. Truth number 10. To master others, you must first stop needing to. This is where the circle closes. Machiavelli saw power as a game of dominance. The Stoics saw it as a test of detachment. The highest form of control is not over people, it's over your craving to control them. When you can love without clinging, give without expecting, walk away without bitterness, that's real mastery. Because now, you're not acting from strategy, you're acting from strength. Seneca wrote, "The greatest empire is to be emperor of oneself." And that's the ultimate reversal. The moment you no longer need to win, you already have. Modern life keeps trying to sell control over partners, over image, over outcomes. But Stoicism teaches you to trade control for composure. You stop chasing reactions and start choosing responses. You stop asking, "How do I make them stay?" and start asking, "What would peace do right now?" So here's the final challenge for you. The next time you feel someone slipping away, don't fight to pull them back. Breathe. Watch what your emotions try to make you do, and then do the opposite. That's the Stoic rebellion against every instinct Machiavelli ever exploited. Love is not a battlefield. It's a mirror. It doesn't reveal who the other person is. It reveals who you are when you stop pretending. So would you rather be loved, feared, or free? Drop your answer below. And if this hit you deeper than you expected, wait until you see the next episode. We're going inside the mind of Marcus Aurelius himself, and uncovering why the most powerful man in the world wrote his diary like a broken-hearted monk. Subscribe and click the notification button so you don't miss it. Stay calm, stay aware, stay free.